If you're working a job, you need to identify all the ways in which you could do your job better. A lot of people work their jobs and they don't try very hard. We've discussed this already about how lazy employees are. If you're an employee right now, you're probably lazy. So, you're working a job, you're not trying your best. Make a list of all the ways you could improve how you do your job. You could work faster, you can make more phone calls, you could care more about X, Y, Z. You could do the entire 9 hours without super long bathroom breaks where you disappear to sit on your phone, whatever. Make a list of all the ways you could improve the way you do your job. Then ask yourself why you don't do it. Why don't you work at 100% of your capacity? And the main reason is probably going to be because you're not incentivized to do so. I don't know about your job. Obviously, this is the Hustlers University. We're going to teach you how to make money outside of your job. But if you're in a job right now and the fastest way you can do to get a pay rise or increase your money is literally to sit there and think, I need X, Y, Z to be incentivized to do this job properly. I think you'll be surprised how often you can go into your managing director or your, especially for smaller companies, your boss's office and say, look, here's the deal. I want to do X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. I think it's going to make us a lot of money. I just want to say, if I'm right and it pulls off, let me prove myself first. Let me make the money first. But if the money starts rolling in, that's when I'm going to be rewarded for it. They'll say, oh, okay. They'll call your bluff because you promised them money. When you go in there and you say that, all you've done is say, look, I want to make you some money. You say that to them, let the money start coming in, and they'll often reward you for it. If you're not doing your job to the best of your ability, then you need to be doing something else. And if you're not doing the job to the best of your ability, you need to be using that time to start something on the side. So my work history, as you can tell, is very varied. For a long period of time, I worked, when I say long, about a year, I worked for a company called N2. N2 sold web advertising. It sold advertising, websites, SEO, Google AdWords, all that kind of thing. So we would call up companies and convince them they need a new website, or they need SEO, or Google AdWords, or hosting, blah, blah, blah. It was like an online advertising agency. This is a few years ago. At the same time I was working there, this is the company when I read Wikipedia three days a week. At the same time I was working there, I was pissed off that I wasn't a business owner anymore. I kept remembering T2 and all the mistakes I made at T2, and I wanted to start a television advertising agency again, but I couldn't afford to quit this job, and I also knew that it was going to be very, very hard to sell television advertising like I did a few years before, because this was, when I was selling it before, was just before the big credit crunch. Remember that? Now we're in the height of the credit crunch, so it's going to be very difficult to get money out of people. So I decided to start a company anyway. I started a television advertising company called Vixels. I looked at the word pixels, I changed the P to a V. Doesn't make any sense. Vixels television advertising, and what I would do is, my brother would pitch television from home, and I would still work my normal job, and in between not doing any work in my normal job, I'd provide leads and fulfill leads, etc., etc. So not only am I working a normal job, I had another company on the side at the same time. And what was good about this is if I went to a company to give them a website and it was a particularly big company and a company I think could afford TV, then I'd pitch them for Vixels on the side, or tell Tristan to call them and pitch them. So simultaneously as doing my job, I was running another company. Now Vixels never really took off. I landed 3 or 4 deals. I maybe did 200-300 grand, which isn't a lot of money to me now, but 200 or 300 grand is a lot of money to most people in a year of a company. So instead of just sitting at my job doing absolutely nothing, I was doing a lot of nothing. I was reading Wikipedia, but I was also doing as much as I could for my own company on the side. So if you have a job right now, don't quit your job. People say to me all the time, oh, I need to quit my job. No, you don't. You don't need to quit your job. I guarantee there's enough time in the day for you to work your job and work your side hustle. Guaranteed, because you're lazy and you don't do shit at your job anyway. You have all the time you need to continue with your job, get your side hustle rolling. When your hustle's rolling and you know the money's coming in, then quit. You don't need to quit your job at the same time. So people say it to me all the time, well, should I quit my job? And the answer is often no. You don't need to quit your job until you've been through and you've sorted out all the things you've already been over so far in this university. Is money coming in? Why would you quit your job? Is money coming in? Yes or no? No. Well, then why would you quit your job? I showed you already how easy it is to get money flowing in. Get the site online, bang, 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 get the money in, even if none of the fulfillment is ready. So if money's not coming in, you don't need to quit your job. No, you need to do everything at the same time. You can get money rolling in first before you consider ducking out of a job, sitting around at home, and being broke. So that's a very important key thing about jobs, because I get asked that all the time. Next point, and this is a very important one. People, I'm gonna make this very, very clear. People do not buy on price. You do not want to compete on price. For whatever company you're gonna run, you do not want to compete on price. T2 competed on price, and okay, it lasted a while because of speed, but even nowadays, that would be much harder to do, and I'll tell you why. The people who compete on price are going to beat you. So if you go to Amazon.com and look at the phone cases for 89 cents for the case and delivery, and it's coming all the way from fucking China. How do they make money on that deal? I don't have a clue, but they managed to pull it off. There's too much Southeast Asian and Asian production now. Everyone's producing everything so cheap. There's no way you're going to win on price. You need to sell on brand. Here in the West, living where we live, that's our advantage. We have the whole idea of branding and quality and reputation. These are the things you need to sell on. You do not want to sell on price. You don't want to price people out the market, but when you're sitting there looking at your prices, you don't want to sit there and go, well, you know, I want to make it really affordable. I really have never experienced that. So you've joined my university. This is, I don't know if you joined at half price for $9.99 or you joined at the full price, whatever. I could have done this cheaper, but why would I do it cheaper? This is the value. The value here is everything I'm saying. This is how much it should cost. So you can't just be looking to sell things as cheap as possible. I see a lot of guys, especially the Twitter gurus, loads of them are selling ebooks for like $17 or $13. How are the fuck are you gonna get rich off $17 ebooks? You're not. So if that's the only price people will buy from you at, then that shows your brand has no strength, no reputation. Because if you had genuine strength and reputation, you could sell at a real price. So where your price point lies says a lot about who you are as a person. Do you want to be fucking Lambo? I'll write Lambo down because I like that word. Or do you want to be bullshit? This is where all the ebooks, the little ebooks are. This is where I am. Why can I sell more than them? Why can I sell for a much higher margin, a much higher price? Because I have a reputation and I provide a better quality product. So when you're looking for whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to launch, when you start putting prices out there, if you put it up high and you're not selling, and you find yourself really reducing the price to try and get sales, that says a lot about who your reputation is. You need to do some reputation management. You need to build your reputation, build your credibility, build on the point that you're an expert in your field. And as you do that, your price will increase. That is the easiest way to make more money, because there's only a certain amount of customers in the world. Let's say there's only 100 incels who are going to buy a book about how to fuck today. There's only 100 of them. That's the only people on Twitter who are going to buy a book about how to fuck today. So the easiest way to make more money is to charge this 100 people more money instead of trying to find more people, especially with Twitter, because if you're selling on Twitter, Twitter following doesn't grow that fast. Your Twitter followers may not be that big, and if even it is, let's say minus 30,000, they don't grow very quickly. You get shadow banned, it takes a long time. So you only have a certain amount of potential customers, so you want each one to spend as much money as possible. This is the reality of the game. So if you're selling shit cheap, like a lot of these Twitter guys do, that's because they're cheap and they're lame. They're lame. Never sell on price. Also, you'll have more problems and more complaints from people who buy cheap things than people who buy expensive things. And the reason is because the people who buy expensive things are getting Lambo quality, like you're getting here, all the information I'm giving you. The people who buy the cheap things, they're just buying it because it's so cheap. They don't believe in the person. They're just like, oh, what's the worst I can do? I'm only losing 13 bucks. But then they'll still feel pissed off when they realize it's garbage. So your number one goal, your number one aim in whatever business you do is to constantly be increasing prices. You need to be looking to constantly increase the price. And the way you do that is by constantly building on your reputation. That is how it goes. Even if you have to start off at a lower price, you need to always increase the price. You should never get to a point where you've priced yourself out. People don't buy on price. People buy what they want. If people want something, they're gonna buy it. There's a whole bunch of expensive shit that people buy, trust me, because they want it. So you have to make sure that people want your product. Do not be one of those, well, I'm the cheapest on the market, guys, because that never works well. It gives you a bunch of dickhead customers and it stops you making any kind of serious money. It's bullshit. Don't do it. Next, you need to learn to shut up and listen. This is a really important point for business. Super important, because it's something I see a lot of people make mistakes with. I'm gonna destroy my beautiful diagram here. Right. Most people, once they start a business, won't shut the fuck up about their business. I know so many people who are making money, and yeah, they're making money, but as soon as you start talking about money, all they talk about is how they make money, their business, how smart they are, ego investment, how great they are. That is not going to teach you anything. You only learn by listening. I'm around people who are making money. I don't talk about money. I mean, it's different if they're friends of mine, I've known them for a long time, we're interacting. But I mean, if I'm meeting people and they're businessmen and everyone's talking about how they're making money, I shut the fuck up and I listen. Because anyone who's making money, one way or another, knows something you don't know. There's a lesson everywhere. So when you interact with someone who's rich, you have to say enough to convince him to talk, but don't talk too much yourself. The more you talk about your own business and how you do things, the more time you've wasted. You already know your own business. You already know how you do things. Maybe if you're asking him directly for feedback, yeah, I do this, what do you think of this? But if you're bragging, blah, blah, and I'm this, and I turn over this, you're just wasting time. Let other people talk. Learn from other people who are making money. Even if they're in an industry which is completely different to yours, it doesn't make a difference. Shut up and listen because somebody knows something. Even Dan, who I ran T2 with, Dan was a crackhead. Dan taught me shitloads about advertising and shitloads about sales. He taught me loads of things. This guy's got a fucking coke problem. He's out of his mind and he taught me things. There's nobody you cannot learn from. You can learn from anybody who understands anything about either sales or making money. So be prepared to shut the fuck up when you interact with these people and sit and listen and adopt it. Be super prepared. Next. I'll tell you another little thing we did at T2 actually. Something just came to my mind. We had T2 and we had another company called Angel. I was 20, I was a dick. I don't know why I called it Angel TV. So we had another company called Angel TV. And what we do is, we'd pitch TV companies as normal. And if we ever had a company which was really close to doing it, but for some reason just wouldn't go over the edge, wouldn't buy, then we'd call them up and pitch them from Angel for a tiny bit of a discount. So let's say we're pitching someone at 19 grand, we're trying to get them, they won't do it. Then we call them up from Angel and say, hi, we have a one-time special offer, 18,000. And try and close them that way, even though there was no profit in it. But the point is, that's another little thing you consider, another little business tip. If you have a company like that, if you have a partner, a business partner, or you have some members of staff that they perhaps wouldn't interact with if they're talking to you in the initial organization, if you're really trying to get this order and you just can't get it in, you can always try and pitch as some other company and take the business that way. I know a lot of people who are doing that, I won't say who, in lots of different industries, who are coming along, trying to close the business, closing a lot, but those stubborn motherfuckers are coming along with another company and scooping them up. Keep that in mind. It's something else you can write down and think about. We'll come back to Angel later on in your university curriculum. Next, attention is free advertising. So you need to get good at getting some attention, somehow. I get attention because I'm the Don. But you need to find a way to get attention. Because all advertising is buying attention, which is fine. But buying attention is more expensive than getting attention for free. And when I say for free, I mean free financially. Getting attention is still going to take time with your money. But you need to find a way to get attention. I think you already understand this. You already understand viral marketing, no such thing as bad press, blah, blah, blah. But finding a way to get attention is a fantastic way to start generating money. Now, what most people do is, you see a lot of people, they find ways to get attention, but they don't monetize it. So for this, I'm going to put in an example of my Star Wars thread. We're going to start putting it on the screen now. When you look at my Star Wars thread, I said something that pissed off the nerds. You can see I pissed off the nerds. Started to go viral, started to get traction. And for every single tweet afterwards, all I'm trying to do is promote my website. I'm doing it in a funny way. I'm doing it in a way that annoys them. I'm doing it in a way that's going to get some interaction. But I'm still trying to promote my website from start to finish. That is the end goal. Get attention and then do not be afraid to shamelessly sell. But you have to find a way to get some attention first. Now that's not easy in the modern world because everybody's vying for each other's attention. Especially on the internet. Everyone is competing for attention. But attention is key. So finding a way to do it is important. I had a guy who had this is the most simple, stupid example, but it's true. It's one of these guys in Romania and they wrap cars and they're in an industrial state. And he painted the entire side of his wall with a huge mural, like a spray paint mural of a car being wrapped. And I said to him, that was badass, how much did it cost? He goes, it cost me $3,000, but it's increased my business big time. I've made all my money back big time. I was like, why? He goes, people look at it when they drive past and they see it's artistic, it's creative, and they want to work with us. He got attention. He fucking painted his wall. But anything it takes to get attention. If you have a sign on your company, is the sign big and bright and bold enough? Probably not. There's no such thing as bad attention. The world we live in now, we live in an attention economy. If you have lots of attention, you can turn that into money. If you have no attention, you're not going to have any money. We're in an attention economy. You don't even need good ideas now. YouTube has proved attention economy. You have fucking morons out there doing nothing on vlogs, talking shit and being complete losers. But because people watch it, because they get attention, they're millionaires. Attention is the currency of the modern world. So if you're going to start any kind of business, one thing you need to consider is, we talked earlier about money in, all your money out. This is your only real business, the money in. And how you don't want to be investing any of your money in anything that doesn't lead back to here. You can see that bottom one there. But you know what's going to lead to this? You know what's going to increase the number of sales coming in? Attention. Attention is key. Attention is going to accelerate everything. So you need to keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to do things that are a little bit crazy to get people to pay attention to you. Now, obviously, I'm not saying join ISIS or something stupid to get attention. Keep it in mind. But attention is the currency. Attention is the magic formula, that the catalyst that's going to take any company and blow it up fast. So keep that in mind when you're looking to launch your company or you're already running your company. Does my company get enough attention? No. Okay, so which company in my industry does get attention? This one. How do they get it? Oh, well, they pay for advertising, or for example, or they did this viral campaign, or they sponsored this. How are the people taking the attention that you want? How can you get the attention? Find a way. If you have to go and run a marathon dressed as a fucking dinosaur with your company name on the back, then go do it. It's effectively free and it's good for you. Don't be lazy. You have to do something to get some attention. Attention is the key. That's going to be the difference between a failed business and a successful business.